Not long ago, we had a great railway show. Engines from all around the world came to the mainland to compete. I made some really good friends. But afterwards, they all had to go home. And right now, they're all travelling back. I wonder where they are now.
Great race friends near and far. Yong Bao was puffing through the Swiss Alps on his way back to China. He had to go through lots of tunnels and over lots of bridges. He loved all the sights and all the sounds, especially the sounds of the mountain goats. But as he arrived at a beautiful alpine station, he found some confusion and delay. "What's the matter?" asked Yong Bao. "None of the engines will go through the tunnel," said the station master, "so my passengers can't get home." "There's a monster in the tunnel," said one of the little engines. "And he's making scary noises," said the other. Yong Bao knew that he had to go through the tunnel to get home. "Why don't I go and have a look?" he said, and he put his lights on. Yong Bao puffed slowly into the tunnel. He could hear a very strange noise. "That does sound very scary. Maybe there is a monster in here." But he puffed bravely on. Yong Bao saw strange shapes and shadows. And the further in he went, the louder the noise became. "I know that noise." And at last, he could see what was making the noise. It was a mountain goat. The goat was very pleased to see Yong Bao. "Follow my lights, Mr. Goat." Yong Bao puffed slowly back through the tunnel, and the goat followed him until they reached daylight. "Here's your monster," chuckled Yong Bao. The engines were very surprised to see a mountain goat plopping out of the tunnel. Everyone was very happy that it wasn't a monster, and they all gave Yong Bao a great big cheer. "Thank you, Yong Bao," said the little engine. "Now we can all go through the tunnel." "And we can all go home," said the passengers. So Yong Bao led the way through the tunnel and continued on his way to China.
I hope all my friends are having a fun journey. And I hope I see them again one day. Not long ago, we had a great railway show. Engines from all around the world came to the mainland to compete. I made some really good friends. But afterwards, they all had to go home. And right now, they're all travelling back. I wonder where they are now.
Great race friends near and far. Rajiv had just arrived back from the great railway show. He couldn't wait to show everyone his trophy. "Hi everyone, I'm back!" But there was no one there. Rajiv looked around the goods yard. Then he looked in the sheds. Where has everybody gone? I really wanted to show off my trophy. Then Rajiv saw one of the railway workers coming towards him. "I've just got back," began Rajiv. But the railway worker was in too much of a hurry to listen. "You're needed at the city centre station right away." And then he ran away. "How strange," said Rajiv, who was beginning to feel a bit sad. So Rajiv puffed to the city centre station. "No one is interested in seeing my trophy. I was the best decorated engine in the whole of the great railway show. And now they probably just want me to collect some coal." But when Rajiv was near the city centre station, he found a man waiting for him. "Are you Rajiv?" "Yes. The same Rajiv that won the best decorated engine competition at the great railway show." "That's me." "Then take me to the station right away, please." Rajiv was very puzzled. Rajiv took the man to the city centre. But before he got there, he discovered a huge crowd waiting for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the champion engine from the Great Railway Show, the best decorated engine in the world, Rajiv!
Everyone started to cheer. Rajiv was very happy. It was the proudest Rajiv had ever been.
Maybe I'll go back next year and try to win again.
I hope all my friends are having a fun journey. And I hope I see them again one day. Not long ago, we had a great railway show. Engines from all around the world came to the mainland to compete. I made some really good friends. But afterwards, they all had to go home. And right now, they're all traveling back. I wonder where they are now.
Great race friends near and far. Ivan and Frida were on their way home from the great race. And wherever they went, people were always very excited about seeing Ivan.
Hooray! It's Ivan! They cheered. Ivan the Super Shunter!
But this made Frida very grumpy. She wanted them to be excited because she was there.
Ivan can shunt, but he's not as strong or as fast as me, said Frida. So, Ivan, how did you do at the Great Railway Show? Said one man. Did you win the shunting competition? Said another.
This made Frida so grumpy, she puffed away.
Don't worry, said Ivan. I'm sure everyone is just as happy to see you. They will be, snapped Frida. Especially when we get to my home in Germany.
But even when they got to Germany, it was Ivan who got all the cheers.
Hello, everyone, said Ivan. So nice to meet you.
This made Frida very unhappy.
I don't understand, said Frida. Why is everyone so happy to see you, but not me? I think maybe it's 'cause I smile, said Ivan. But I smile, said Frida. Not so much, said Ivan. So the next morning, Ivan decided to teach Frida how to give her best smile. Bigger smile, said Ivan. And be cheerful, too. I think maybe you need to practice, said Ivan. Frida practiced smiling and being cheerful as they puffed through the German countryside. And when they arrived in the next town, everyone was happy to see Ivan and Frida. You know what, said Frida. I'm going to try to be cheerful all the time. Ah, good, said Ivan. A happy engine is a useful engine.
I hope all my friends are having a fun journey. And I hope I see them again one day. Not long ago, we had a great railway show. Engines from all around the world came to the mainland to compete. I made some really good friends. But afterwards, they all had to go home. And right now, they're all traveling back. I wonder where they are now.
Great race friends near and far. Ashima and Rajiv had a long way to go to get home. And on their way back to India, they had to go through Austria. As Ashima and Rajiv puffed into the Austrian mountains, the tracks got very steep. Rajiv didn't like going through the mountain railways. He had never been so high up before. But Ashima liked the mountains. They reminded her of home. Ashima and Rajiv soon came to a bridge.
Whoa, I don't like the look of that, said Rajiv. What's the matter with it? Asked Ashima. It's very high up and I don't like being high up. But we have to cross it, said Ashima. It's the way home. Come on.
Ashima started to cross the bridge.
I can't look.
So Ashima came back again.
Don't worry, Rajiv. The Nilgiri Railway where I work has the steepest hills and the highest bridges you can imagine. I'm not sure how that helps me. I tell you what, you close your eyes and I'll make sure you get safely through the mountains.
So Ashima coupled up to Rajiv.
Now keep your eyes closed. Don't worry about that. I will.
So Ashima pulled Rajiv slowly and carefully across the bridge and further into the mountains. Ashima loved puffing along the winding tracks. It was colder than her railway in India, but the tunnels, trees and high bridges were just like the Nilgiri Railway.
We're at the top now, Rajiv. Don't you want to see?
Being this high up made Rajiv a little scared, but he did want to see what it looked like being so high up in the mountains. Rajiv thought it was the most magnificent sight he had ever seen. He could see the trees and the mountains, and the houses were so far away, they looked like tiny little boxes.
Maybe heights aren't so scary after all, as long as you have a friend to look after you.
I hope all my friends are having a fun journey. And I hope I see them again one day. Not long ago, we had a great railway show. Engines from all around the world came to the mainland to compete. I made some really good friends. But afterwards, they all had to go home. And right now, they're all traveling back. I wonder where they are now.
Great race friends near and far. It was a hot, sunny day when Carlos and Raul arrived in Mexico. Carlos was nearly home, but Raul still had a long way to go to get to Brazil. But then, Raul saw something that made him feel at home.
Ah, football fans, said Raul. There is nothing more Brazilian than football fans. We like football in Mexico too, said Carlos. Maybe, but not as much as in Brazil.
Carlos thought Raul was wrong, but before he could say anything, he was interrupted by a fan.
Hey, can you take us to the football match? Yeah, it's a long way to go and we missed our train.
The two engines agreed to take the fans, but then Carlos had an idea.
I bet I can get my fans to the stadium before you. Pah! No one beats a Brazilian engine to a football match.
Carlos and Raul raced towards the stadium station. Raul was taking all the Brazilian fans and Carlos was taking all of the Mexican fans. Every time one of them was in the lead, the other managed to race past him. The fans sang songs as Carlos and Raul went faster and faster. And when they got to the stadium, it was a draw.
But you've taken us to the wrong stadium,
said one of the fans angrily.
This is where they play baseball.
Uh-oh, said Carlos and Raul.
We were in such a rush, we forgot to check where we were going.
But the match was about to start. Carlos and Raul raced to the football stadium, and this time they puffed faster than they had ever puffed before. It didn't matter who got there first. They just wanted to get their passengers to the football match on time.
Hooray! Cheered the fans. You got us to the match on time.
Carlos and Raul waited to take the fans home again.
Maybe you do like football in Mexico nearly as much as we do in Brazil. I think Mexicans and Brazilians like football just as much as each other.
I hope all my friends are having a fun journey. And I hope I see them again one day. Not long ago, we had a great railway show. Engines from all around the world came to the mainland to compete. I made some really good friends. But afterwards, they all had to go home. And right now, they're all traveling back. I wonder where they are now.
great race friends near and far. Etienne had just left the great railway show. He was on his way to catch a boat to France. But before he went to the docks, Etienne decided that it would be nice to visit London, the capital city of England. Etienne thought about Big Ben and Tower Bridge and all the city lights. "To London!" said Etienne, and he raced ahead. As he got closer to the city, Etienne couldn't wait to get to London. "It won't be long till I see the sights," he said. Soon, Etienne pulled into a station. "Which way to Big Ben?" The station master pointed into the distance. "It's over there," he said. "You can see the top of it sticking up over the other buildings." So Etienne headed for Big Ben. But every time he thought he was getting closer, the tracks took him away. At last, Etienne ended up back at the same station. "I keep trying to see Big Ben, but the tracks keep taking me away again." The station master looked at a railway map. I can see the problem. None of the tracks go to Big Ben. I don't think a train can go there. But I have come all the way to England. I will never see the sights of London. So Etienne pulled slowly away.
"I will just go and catch my boat."
Etienne was very sad. But as Etienne traveled to the coast, he went across a bridge. And as he crossed the bridge, he saw a most wonderful sight. Tower Bridge and the Tower of London. They looked magnificent. Etienne was very happy. The next morning, Etienne arrived at the docks, ready to catch his boat home. But he was still thinking about the sights of London and the city lights.
I hope all my friends are having a fun journey. And I hope I see them again one day.